Very good evening, and thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. So I'm really excited to be a part of this festival, a month-long festival. Uh, if you could just confirm whether my screen is visible.
Yes, it is, sir. Please continue.
Great. Good evening, everyone. It's a great opportunity to be a part of this month-long festival. I represent India Alliance, which is a funding agency which funds biomedical, clinical, and public health research. What I intend to do in the next 10 to 12 minutes is to walk you through about who we are, what we do, and how we influence biomedical research in India. Yeah, so our sphere of action, just to give you an idea of who we are basically in existence to bring about these four things. First one is to build capacity in biomedical and health research. How do we do this? We take existing ecosystems within the biomedical research, strengthen them wherever needed. And if there's not one, we create one. And in this process, we also foster a lot of collaboration, both at the national level as well as international level via a plethora of schemes, what we have, which I will share with you in the next couple of slides. And most importantly, very befitting to the theme of this whole India Science Festival is to make science accessible to the stakeholders, which could be students, research scholars, and the public. So our primary mission is to advance discovery and innovation to improve global health, and very appropriate now that we are going through this pandemic. So when did this journey start? So we are 12 years old into business. This started in September 2008 when two major funding bodies, one is Department of Biotechnology from Government of India and the Wellcome Trust from UK, decided that we need to create an agency or an organization, a public charity organization, which can really bring in the best global practices in terms of granting system, granting mechanism, and to really foster a research atmosphere which really matches the global standards. So 2008, we started off with our flagship program called the Early, Intermediate, and Senior Career Fellowships. This is primarily to identify people who are abroad, who want to come back to India, provide them an opportunity and a mechanism to fund them really well, to come back and establish. So what we intended to do was to bring them back and establish in India. And then subsequently, 5 years later, they can become an intermediate fellow and then a senior fellow. So this program ran very well. We started this in a small scale. Around 2013, we thought that it's important to expand into clinical and public health research. As all of us realize, clinical and public health has a much larger reach and also in terms of benefit to the society. So in 2013, we replicated the same program wherein we fund early researchers, people who are in the middle of their career, as well as senior fellows. And 10 years of data really told us that we are making an impact in the society. In 2019, we said we need to expand into the next horizon, which is basically to really create an opportunity and a mechanism for institutions to work and collaborate. Why is this important? As we are going through this COVID pandemic, we really need the best of the teams across the country to work together. This has to be interdisciplinary. It has to cut across disciplines, come together and really ask and address a big question, which is of public health relevance. So in 2019, we launched a program called the Team Science Grant, which we'll talk about in the next couple of minutes, wherein we really foster interdisciplinary research with a unique component where we also encourage researchers from India to find a suitable partner abroad. It could be either Europe, US, or rest of Asia, which is really a very, very unique feature of this grant. And as we speak, we are into the 12th year of our existence. So what do we do other than funding? So we really look at 4 core areas. One is training. As all of you are here on this call, we really make it a point to do scientific training. So till date, we have trained around 3,400 PhD students by our fellows. We use a network of India Alliance fellows to go about training PhD students. We also have a very unique program called the India Science Media Fellowships, wherein we identify journalists or people who are very savvy in writing and then provide them fellowship to really promote scientific writing. So that is another important component. And we also do very active science communication. How do we do this? Like one such event where I'm participating now, we participate in a lot of international and national events wherein we convey science in a language which is appropriate to the audience as well as to the community. We do a lot of popular science talks. We also try to be very creative in terms of bringing in science with art, science with music, and the different forms of really making science very appealing to a broader audience. And we also do a lot of health awareness programs. And then publication is one important metric we use to measure the impact of our research fellows. And we encourage and insist on open access publications. And most importantly, most of the research you do in terms of publications, training, and communication should actually translate into a policy change, because that's how the society evolves and that's how the health and the best practices in global health evolve. So we are very happy to say that our fellows, via the funding we have provided, have gone on to impact several policies across the country. And we have fellows who are actively working on many more policies, which impact all the way from tobacco use to nutrition guidelines to gene therapy. And to give you a snapshot of what a program entails, right? As I mentioned to you, we have multiple programs. So wherein we provide a pathway of a career pathway. So someone who has finished a PhD and has less than 3 to 4 years of experience is eligible to get this early career fellowship. So that pretty much enables them to launch their career in India. The same holds true for public health as well as in clinical sciences. Once someone finishes 5 years of experience post PhD, they become eligible to receive the intermediate fellowship. That helps them to establish. And then people with PhD, scientists with PhD and 12 years of experience can apply for the senior fellowships. That helps them to lead. So what you could see here is we have built in a robust mechanism wherein someone with great ideas can write a competitive grant and really can make it in the cut, can actually get 15 years of funding through the 3 schemes what we have. And to give you a little bit of details around the new scheme what we launched last year, which basically takes the science and the funding opportunity beyond individual scientists. We have this program called the Team Science Grant, wherein we try to foster interdisciplinary collaborative research, which is the need of the hour. As you could see that in unprecedented speed, we have new vaccines, new diagnostics. All this was possible only because of people being able to collaborate in an interdisciplinary manner. So that is something which we really foster from this Team Science Grant. In parallel, we also have this program called the CRC, which is nothing but a virtual center, wherein we create centers of excellence across the country based on certain themes. And embedded within that is a training program to really provide an opportunity for physician scientists to get trained and then get involved in research. What is our spread? 12 years in the business. As you could see here, we have a pan-India presence. As you could see that we have fellows all across the country, north, south, east, west. Till date, we have awarded close to 430 awards. And we have fellows spread across 115 institutions across the country. This encompasses bigger, large research institutions. We have small tier institutions as well as colleges. And we also have our fellows spread across 42 cities. So you could clearly see that there is a component of diversity, which is a very important aspect for us. As you could see here, we also pay a lot of attention in terms of gender diversity. We are very happy to say that we are one of the funding agencies where 1/3 of our fellows are women scientists. And then what happens is a bulk of the researchers who get funded by us are involved in basic research. It's almost 80%. And the rest 20% are involved in clinical and public health research. And we are happy to say that almost 2/3 of our fellows hold faculty positions within India. And another 25% of awardees have joined into new institutions. So what is happening is there is a ripple effect, that not that scientists go only to the established research centers, but they also go and establish and join newer institutions which are in the making. And this slide here talks about our impact and our outreach. What are the areas we fund? We are not prescriptive in terms of what are the areas we fund. Anything in the biomedical science, ecology, veterinary, it could be, except for agriculture. It could be public health, it could be immunology, stem cell biology, neuroscience, small bio, biostatistics, public health, structural biology, anything in this space, we are open to get applications as long as the applications are competitive and clearly have an element of novelty. And also in terms of, we also fund high risk projects. So coming to the next point of one of our another main mission is to really foster collaboration among people. So that can happen within the institutions. And it's also very important that the fellows we fund get an opportunity to go and present their work in national and international symposiums and conferences. In order to enable this, we provide travel grants, various travel grants, which will enable people to go and share their findings as well as share the knowledge. And in the process, we are fostering interdisciplinary and international collaboration. So this is one of another important mechanism we use to fund researchers. And as you could see here, this is a very important program. This is in partnership with the prestigious European Molecular Biology Organization, in short called MBO. We jointly organize training programs across India. On a given year, we do up to 4 to 6 lecture courses. The aim is to really train Indian scientists in terms of some of the nuances and skills, professional skills in research. How can we adopt the best global practices? And this really helps to hone the skills of our researchers early on as PhD students and also as postdocs. So this is again a terrific opportunity for people to get trained in some of the best practices. And most interestingly, we also collaborate across continents pretty much with our mandate. So this is a very unique program called the Africa India Mobility Fund. This basically enables collaboration between Indian and African biomedical researchers. There is a lot we can learn. There's a lot of commonality in terms of the disease burden, in terms of prevalence of certain unique diseases like malaria and TB. So what this Mobility Fund allows us for scientists from India to go and spend time in an African lab. Similarly, scientists from Africa get a chance to come to India. In the process, we are enabling a South-South collaboration. And coming on to the next mandate in terms of how do we implement and influence policies and create a robust research ecosystem within India. This is another flagship program called the MBO Leadership Workshop program. This again is a very prestigious program wherein we get trainers from Europe to come and conduct a face-to-face a physical meeting lasting for 4 days, wherein some of our best scientists get a chance to learn certain management skills in terms of how do you do people management, how do you set up a lab, how do you go about writing grants. So it really gives you a 360 degree development opportunity in terms of the best practices which are out there in Europe and US. And another important initiative, we realize that institutions which have many researchers, 10, 20, 30, or 50 of them, if each one of them will have to go and seek what are the opportunities and really get involved in the paperwork and the administrative necessity in terms of fulfilling a funder's requirement, an enormous amount of time is lost in this process. So what we are encouraging is to really talk to institutions to set up this research management practice, wherein we can take a trained researcher who's finished a PhD, who has spent time in the ecosystem. For whatever reasons, they don't enjoy bench research, and they really see an opportunity in fostering relationship and building teams. So it provides a terrific platform for them to really be a part of this research management initiative. We are very happy to say that next week, starting from Monday, we have our first national conference on research management. I encourage the participants here to look through our website and then join some of the sessions and really get some benefit out of this. And most importantly, we have a mandate to empower researchers. So as we spoke about in the beginning, science has to be accessible to all. And in this process, we encourage our researchers to publish in open access. There's been a lot of debate in the scientific field. Accessing journal articles are getting expensive. So what we do as a funding agency is to really sign up. We have signed up to certain international agencies wherein we make our publications open access. And we also actively encourage our fellows via multiple mechanisms and channels to involve in science communication and public engagement. As you could see here, you can see that there are a lot of enthusiastic researchers there sitting and doing a teamwork in terms of understanding. So this is again another initiative which we do. And we're very happy to say that so far we have trained more than 3,000 researchers from over 100 research institutions and teach them the nuances and basics of science communication via our workshops. And again, it's very important that since we are funded by public money, the public has every right to know what we do and how we do and what is the impact. So we again play a very important role in providing opportunities and creating platforms for our scientists as well as our fellows to go and engage with the public and make science very interesting and accessible. And we have done many such work. We are very happy to partner with Nature India, another prestigious publication house, to run a program on India Science Media Fellowship, wherein we identify certain fellows and give them money to go and build some stories around certain core themes. And this slide here talks about the overall impact of what we have done during the COVID. You know, all of us have gone through a very difficult phase, and we continue to go through, and hopefully we'll be out of it very soon. But as a funding agency and with a network across the country, we really managed to pull in a lot of our fellows to be deeply engaged with the society, with the public, and deliver a lot of topics in terms of COVID, you know, to deliver the right kind of science. So this is something which we have done. I will stop here and we'll be very happy to take any questions. And I really encourage all the participants to look for India Alliance. We are on the web, we are on social media, we are on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you know, we have our own YouTube channels of all the past events that have happened. And it's actually a wealth of knowledge in terms of what we have done in the last 10 to 12 years. And we really encourage you to look at all the workshops and the new opportunities for funding. So I will stop here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We are always open for collaborations and look for such events to be a part of it. And you know, we can do some wonderful things. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye.